think I need that breath. I think I need one more. It's for, again, for those joining us now, Jenny and I were supposed to start about 35, 40 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but first of all, we were both running a little bit late to this, which
Mm-hmm.
that's life. It happens. But then we had all these technical challenges getting set up and ready to go. And one of the things, when we thought we had it, we thought we were going to record. Um, Great awareness by Jenny just to say, like, do you need a breath before we get started? Which was totally a great call, by the way, because I totally needed a breath before we got started. But
Mm-hmm.
we talked a little bit about like how to get out of that crazy hive mind where we're spiraling with all these thoughts and frustrations, and just to stop and get centered and get in our own body for a second. That's one of those moments that, of course, we weren't recording because we're having technical challenges, but it's one of those moments I wish we were, because that was
Mm-hmm.
such a vital yet quick and easy skill to have, just to say, all right, before I go into this conversation, before I go into this meeting, before I go into this room, check in. Yep, I'm a little bit elevated. Like I tell my girls
Yeah.
in softball, it's like you went from a green light to a yellow light. Just check in,
Yeah.
take a breath. I just grab the floor with my feet
Mm-hmm.
and I take a breath in. And that in breath always lets me know I'm alive. And there you go. Feel a little bit
Yeah. Yeah.
better. It's so simple. And thank you so much for calling me on that, because I totally needed that.
Well, um, I think I told you this. My mentor, that she has passed away, she would always say, "You spot it, you got it." And I never knew what she meant until she began to say, like, usually, honestly, it would be something about someone else that irritated me. Like, they're always negative. And she would be like, guess what? You have a tendency to be negative too, because you can see it in other people. But
Yeah.
it works the same for compliments. Like, you admire a quality in someone, and I guarantee if you admire someone's bravery, that you have that bravery too, because you've noticed it.
Ooh, that's so good. And we're totally off track already,
I
but that's
know.
okay. No,
Yeah.
but that's so good, because how many times from a comparison standpoint where we look at someone and say, oh, I see their bravery, or I see their success, or I see their courage, or I see their wisdom, but
Hmm.
you lament that maybe you don't think you have it.
Hmm.
But I love that, what you
Yeah.
just said, because it it's that bravery or that courage or that wisdom that's already in you, recognizing that in the other
Exactly.
person too.
Yeah.
Oh, it's brilliant.
It's
That's so
calling it
beautiful and
forth.
so encouraging.
Well, so I could apply that to the breathing. So I
Hmm.
myself am trying, and I teach my clients a lot about breathing. And in fact, if they comfortable, will breathe before a session
So
starts.
good.
So I could spot it in you that you needed a breath, because I needed a breath too, right? It's like, do you need a breath? I could be saying that right back to myself.
And that's what we did. It was like this just really random, beautiful, funny time on camera. We both just kind of stopped and went,
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So even though we might sound like it sometimes, we're actually not experts, and we're actually not trying to be experts. We're just trying to figure this out and document it as we go.
Yeah.
And we're inviting you to join us as we lead each other home. Today,
Mm.
did you like that segue? That was pretty smooth, right?
I feel like this is some foreshadowing or something.
today, today we want to talk about what to call this crazy thing. We've had some really, really good conversations over um, what makes us come alive, and the sort of people that get us excited to work with, and what would it might look like to work together, and all these things. But what do we call it?
Hmm.
And that's kind of what we're going to brainstorm today.
Okay. I have been not crazy excited about this podcast because
Really?
I know, because I have thought that you're going to try to make me name this thing tapestry.
I will not make you. As much as I love it, I will not make you.
And so I've been like, okay, I was thinking of other words. In fact, I have been when you were trying to mess with the microphone, I was looking up dictionary words that I think apply to tapestries. I've already done that before we even sat down.
That's funny.
Like, is there another cool word for tapestry? There's really not. I searched that a couple of weeks ago.
Tapestry is the coolest word.
Yeah.
I love the imagery, and I think, I'm not saying we have to call it this, but it's so dense, that imagery does so much. And I'm sure we'll carry that forward in some way, shape, or form, just because we've used it already so powerfully, or you've used it already so powerfully. We'll carry it with us in some way, shape, or form. I just thought it was beautiful imagery. So what kind of inspiration has struck you? Because I know there's been one or two things that have struck me.
Okay. Yeah, so I had thought of the image. I always talk about the back of the tapestry and the knots and things like that. And I thought of what's really happening. What's really happening when those pictures are being formed, that looks disassembled and chaotic on the back, but it's actually a beautiful picture on the front. And I was like, well, it's a weaving of threads and different systems and things. And so the word that kept coming to me was woven. The word woven, like we're woven together. Our lives are woven with purpose.
Yeah.
And so you know what? This is real life stuff. If I show you, look, can you see that?
Yeah.
Is it backwards?
No, you're good.
Okay, do you see how if we chose woven, we don't have to, but if we did, the words themselves would actually be connected. Do you see that?
Yep.
Now, that's my like $1,000 idea. That's about, because that's really kind of all that just kept coming up in my brain. Woven. It's a strange word. And it might be a word where people are like, what? What'd you say? Might be a word like that.
I like that.
Well, I like the logo. I'm a visual person. I'm a visual.
Ton, there is a ton you can do with that. Woven. And we could play with that.
I mean, it even look cool
I'm looking to see. I'm looking to see if like how that word is being used currently, and if it's being used currently in our space. Because that's one that we can come up with a cool name, but if someone already has.
Oh yeah. Well, when you were messing with the thing, when you were working on the microphone, I was looking up the definition of woven.
Okay.
And I didn't see anything like grandiose, like, oh, I want to use that. Basically what I thought. An interlacing of threads, things like that. So.
No, I like that. And from, like you said, from a visual perspective, there's a lot you can do with that. But more importantly, to me, first of all, I love it. I absolutely love it.
No, it's okay if you don't.
No, I do. I wouldn't tell you if I didn't. It had the things I like about woven are the same things I liked about tapestry. All the imagery, all the metaphor, it pretty much applies. Woven. I really like that.
Oh, okay.
I really do.
Okay, but I gotta hear like yours. Are we deciding today? Is this it?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. What people won't know until it's too late, right? We have 6.
I think 6.
We have at least 6 episodes worth of material
Hmm.
sitting here.
Yeah.
And we can't do anything with it because we don't have a name for this thing or a logo for this thing. So it's just sitting here.
True.
So I thought about that. A quick aside, and I'll come right back to Woven and then my idea. But I think it's important. Like I came back from spring break. We recorded our last podcast
Hmm.
when I was on spring break. I came to you live from a closet in South Carolina,
Yeah.
and I'm in Ohio. Which, by the way, it's like 83 degrees. When I'm
No
looking at my watch.
way.
I'm
Wow.
looking at my watch. I don't have a smartwatch. It is currently 82.
Wow. It's about here in Texas. Yeah.
So that's very warm for us
That
in
is.
April.
Yeah.
When I came home from spring break, I came back to, there it was super relaxing. It was very chill. I felt wonderful.
Hmm.
Came back to all the normal stuff, and I felt almost like a sense of panic that I wanted to escape this as quickly as possible. Um, for everybody who doesn't know, like I own a gym, I coach, I consult in application security. There's all these things I do, and then there's things I love to do that aren't vocational, like coaching my daughter's softball team and managing my son's soccer team and all that family stuff that I
Wow.
love. I was suddenly so overwhelmed by all that. I wanted nothing more than to escape it.
Mhm.
And when I get that feeling, the first place I go is, okay, I need some kind of financial freedom. And what's the quickest way to go about doing that? Where am I being so lazy that I haven't found that hack that has
Yeah.
made me millions? And I
Ooh.
immediately, yeah, right. And I
Yeah.
immediately started to look at and look for things that just don't align with my values, with my
Mhm.
mission, with my calling.
Yeah.
And so I kind of had to stop and be like, whoa,
Yeah.
stay aligned with who you are and who you're called to be. I know that this podcast and what we're doing
Mhm.
is in alignment. I know
Mm.
the process is at the correct pace. I'm not trying to rush it.
Yeah. Okay.
But I really want to name this thing so I could release these podcast episodes.
Okay.
So the only the big thing I thought about is I have a dear, dear friend who is a pastor in the St. Louis area, and his church is called The Gathering.
Mm.
And I love that because The Gathering is very simple. It's like
Hmm.
you wouldn't have to explain to someone what happens there.
True. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're everything about their mission and everything about the way they seem to operate and live is in line with that. They're very community based. They're very welcoming. Um, they've really championed other people. And so I loved that name
Yeah.
because it doesn't, some, especially like in the church area, but some names seem trite. They seem contrived, like they're trying to be cool.
Yeah.
They're trying to um, make themselves sound like something they're not.
Hmm.
Um, but the gathering doesn't appear to be that way. So I really admired that. And I liked it because, are you drinking beer again?
No, it's my
Did I tell you?
sparkling water.
I know.
Oh.
Every time you have, usually when you have it in the cozy, I like to call it out.
Well, I know. That's why I took it out of the cozy. I get it. It's a
There you
full
go.
on sparkling water.
Um, so I liked the gathering because it was very authentic and it really is focused on the people in the community.
Hmm.
And I know that is a huge focus of us and what we're trying to do here.
Yeah.
Build a community of people and lead each other home. Uh, so that was the only thing that really jumped out. And I was hoping there was maybe a derivative of that
Mm.
or that would spark something. But man, I really like Woven.
Mm.
I really, really do.
Yeah. I like the gathering But if this is real life, real time stuff, I'm not gonna like hold back. It does to me sound like a church. It sounds like exactly like what it is.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
So if I was, thumbing through and I saw the gathering, I was like, oh, that's probably some church,
Yep.
which
Yep.
we're not,
Nope.
right? And so I
Correct.
was like,
We're not.
that's my only thing about that.
Woven. I really like woven.
Okay.
I think we could play around with like how we'll style it. Like, is it just woven? Is there some like tagline or subtitle with it? And I think some of this will have to be just the pragmatic steps we need to take to make sure we're not stepping on someone else's trademark or intellectual property. We don't want to do that.
Right.
Man,
Yeah. And we're giving a clue to who we are and what we
100%.
want by saying, like having a little tagline or something underneath that. I hadn't even thought of that. Is that what you're talking about? Like woven?
It could be.
I don't know.
A community of people leading each other home.
Something like that. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay.
Woven the podcast. the Woven Cast. That actually sounds like something from a fantasy novel.
It does.
I would see that on The Hobbit or something.
Yes.
Oh, someone's coming. Hi. My wife's now in our podcast. Hi, honey.
It's real life stuff.
Real life stuff. But yeah, I think woven can apply to multiple things. Goes well with the subtitle, and again, the imagery is just so fantastic. I keep seeing the beginnings.
Okay.
So it's just a couple threads like interwoven, but they're sticking out at the end, like waiting for other pieces to be threaded through them.
Okay.
I like that because unless we want to tie off the ends and create a neat end, woven can continue to grow.
Oh, totally.
We could continue to just add more and more. And that the sum is always going to be stronger than the sum of the part. Or the whole is always going to be stronger than the sum of the parts. I like that.
Yeah.
I really like that. I legitimately, I'm trying not to like, knee-jerk react.
Yeah.
That's why I'm almost like nervously filling the silence with talking.
Well, that's why I was like, if you don't like it, that's okay.
No, but I do, but I want to sit with it. I really like it. It's artisanal. It's earthy and organic. Could be anything.
I mean, you just said a really cool thing. I mean, I think we could get this more succinct, but you said the sum of the whole is stronger than the parts. I mean, I think we could say that in 2 or 3 words to get across, something about community, a cool way to say this is a community brought together.
Ooh, yeah.
A community brought together.
You know what? This is crazy. I want to go watch someone weave something together.
Ooh.
I imagine like this elderly person about their craft explaining all these things about weaving something together that I never understood. There's got to be a documentary somewhere about weaving.
I'm sure. Are you picturing someone with one of those like a machine like this, like
yeah, that's part of it. Yeah.
You know what I was picturing when I was thinking of it is we did it as kids. Like, I don't know if you did it. I felt like it was a school thing. And you would lay down a horizontal strip and then you lay down a vertical strip and you weave it.
Yes.
and then you lay the other vertical strip, and you mix, you skip, and and then it becomes like a pot holder thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
I always thought that was a fun, really cool thing. It's on top of a pie crust. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I
Pie crust. So a woven documentary would be cool. I'm sure it'd be really inspirational.
do. I want to see this done. I love it. I think this could absolutely 100% be it.
Okay.
I want to sit with this longer,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to watch someone weave something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna Google it as soon as I'm done.
Okay.
And I might spend like a couple hours on YouTube just watching it happen.
Yeah. Or hearing someone describe the process.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should learn how to do it.
Oh gosh, maybe.
You are not sold on that at all. That's great.
It's
Oh,
hard.
gosh, Brendon, that's a maybe. Yeah, that's good. Let's do some. I'll do kind of just like a trademark or intellectual property search to make sure we're not
Yeah.
taking from someone.
Okay.
Man,
Mm-hmm.
this
Mm-hmm.
is good.
Yeah, I think I think we're inspired. I think we have our own little, I want to watch somebody weave too.
Yeah.
Man, anybody that I get to witness either live or video their talent, I'm so inspired by it. Like I was watching the Chef's Table and it was about pizza. Oh my gosh, talk about being inspired.
Yeah, right.
And it's not about pizza. It's about the craft and the dedication and
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
exactly.
I think we could have a little moment of, crafted inspiration for each of us.
It's so good. Awesome.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yay. Oh my gosh, this was great. I
Yeah.
had this like sinking feeling like we're going to throw out some ideas, but inspiration's not going to strike, and we're going to end this podcast without any kind of resolution. But I think we just need to, dot our I's and cross our T's.
Okay.
I think we're on to it.
Okay.
I'm so excited.
That's good.
Yeah. Good on you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So good. That's so good.
Okay.
Woven it is. I like this.
Yeah. All right, good. It feels solid for now. Let's do it.
Yes, totally solid. I totally agree. All right.
All right.
All right. So you could be listening to The Woven. I don't know. The Woven podcast. You might be. We'll find out here shortly after the next episode.
Yeah. It sounded good. That sounded good when you said it.
You like that? All right. Good. It does sound good. All right. All right. Thank you, Jenny. This was awesome.
Yeah, it was good. After all that, we did it.
Yeah, we did it. Okay, it's really good. And thank you for listening along. I hope you feel a sense of inspiration and wonderment about this name, just like we do. Yeah, and there's a lot to be curious about what's coming up. So
yeah.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
All right, sounding off.
Signing off. We'll see you later.
Bye.